morning, everyone. Welcome to Foreign Blood, Not Foreign Lies. This morning, we're going to do something a little different. This one here is to CJ So Cool. CJ, I love you to death. I love the fact that you are a young black gentleman winning, able to take care of your children. I'm all for that. I support the movement. But let me tell you what you don't realize. You don't realize the importance of the mother and the father role. You like to play between your two babies' mamas, and I noticed that about you. When you're mad at one baby's mom, you're with the other baby's mom. When you was with Charlene, you weren't worried about Nike. You weren't even too much. Not saying you weren't doing for Kamari, because that would be a lie. But that wasn't your main goal. You was all team royalty and her kids. So with that being said, and you kind of had Nike and Kamari on the back burner, and that was wrong. Now that you're not now that you're not with Charlene no more, you and Nike are like this, and that's okay because you guys are supposed to be. But I feel as if it wasn't a true intention because it should not take for you to get into it with your other baby's mom to be in your other child's life, to deal with your other baby's mama. That's what I don't fail to realize. So now you're Team Nike, but shouldn't you have already been Team Nike? Like your daughter isn't one or two. Your daughter by her is big. We're talking like preteen, I'm thinking. Or maybe, yeah, maybe. And I'm like, so it took you to get into it with royalty to be back in these people's life. Now now you want everybody to be friends, and let me tell you something. Nike and royalty, they ain't gotta never be friends. They ain't gotta never talk. They ain't never got none of that. None of that. Drop your kids off, pass by each other. That's what it is. Because those are women you laid with, okay? These are things you chose to do. If these women were meant to be friends, they would have been friends already. So with that being said, if all the babies' mamas want to stay separated, that's fine. Because these ladies weren't meant to be friends, because if they were, they would have been friends already. So everybody ain't got to reunite, and we don't have to have big cookouts together and all this other stuff. But what you fail to realize is, if it's Nike or if it's royalty, you and those moms, you have to coexist. Some form, some fashion. I'm telling you, as a grown woman that's already done this whole thing you guys are doing, to the point, my children are old. My children are old already. And now I see, it takes age to learn some things. And it takes experience and life to learn some things. And certain things you guys aren't going to know because you're still young yet. But this is what kills me is now you got this big preteen daughter that you're just now coming back into her life, and I'm glad you're there. You need to be there. But look at all that time you missed. When, just like you and Charlene, let's say you guys can continue this feud on. The child will always have to pick in some form or some fashion. This is what you guys fail to realize when you're arguing with your baby's mama, your baby's daddy. The children always have to pick. They're forced to pick a side, if you think that or not. They're forced to pick a side, and it's not just a one-time pick a side. It's depending on whose house they're at, what the scenario is, what's going on, whatever it is. It could be a family outing. Since the parents aren't like this, the child has to pick a side. I'm not saying this just because I'm saying this. I'm saying this because this is how the real world works. And when that child has to pick a side, that's kind of crazy, because the answer that you want that child to come up with ain't going to be always the right answer, because there's feelings and emotions and thoughts and pressure, and it just ain't right. It just ain't right. It does confuse a child. It does. I don't care how normal that child looks. I don't care how loving they are. I don't care. It does confuse and mess with the child to a certain degree. It does, because once again, when those parents aren't like this, the child is forced to pick. I mean, I just can't say that. CJ, if you're gonna mess with a baby's mama, you need to mess with them till these children die. Ain't no I'm here now because it's convenient, or this is what's going on, or Charlene ain't here. You and your baby's mamas are supposed to be like this. Period. Period. If you have 5 more kids, you and your baby's mom's supposed to be like this. Period. There's not no. See, there's a rule. Well, I won't say there's a rule because that would be the wrong wording. There's a such thing as when you raise children in split homes, you're not gonna get what you think you would get. And now I'm not saying all these children grow up bad. I'm not saying these situations are different, but children are meant to be in the same home with their parents. That's what's meant to happen. When mom and dad breaks up or go their separate ways, now you have different rules, different ideologies, different understandings, different teachings. Things are different in different homes. So if parents want children to come up a certain way, it has to be with the two parents. I'm going to say this again. It has to be with the two parents, especially if they are in different homes, if they do break up and they're no longer together. The parents have to be like this to get the perfect match, the perfect combo to come out through the child. You can't have different ideas. You can't have different things floating around. You just can't. You just can't. I'm telling you now, as a grown woman, it don't work out right. It does not work. Listen, I don't care if them same children grow up and go to college. It does not matter. It causes chaos in that child's mind, and that child is forced to pick. I'm just telling you. I don't know how to quite explain it. I don't know how to get it out, but any grown woman watching this knows that I'm telling the real deal. If the mother and father is not like this, the results are not going to be what you think they're going to be. And that's it. I don't know how else to say it. So CJ, quit playing sides. Quit being with this baby mama and this baby mama. Now you're pinning them against each other. Now you want them to be friends. Let me tell you something. Charlene ain't Nike's situation. Nike ain't Charlene's situation. They don't have to deal with each other. They don't. This is where you guys get it wrong. When you get in these relationships, you're like, yeah, this is my girlfriend. We have kids together. So she automatically deserves to be in my business because this is part of me. No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. She does not need to be in your business pertaining to your other baby's mom, your other situation, your other anything. Her only job is if that kid comes over there to take care of that kid, treat it like the others, and that's it. Because that's another woman's child. That's not her child. So yes, she has to treat the child equally and things like that. But as in you, that's like you're with Charlene and you're sitting there talking to her about Nike. That's crazy. That's you and Nike's business. Just like now, you're with Nike and you're sitting there talking to her about Charlene's business. You and Charlene's business. Listen, Nike can come over to your house every day. You guys can be cool. It could be whatever. But this is what I'm trying to tell you. Your business with Charlene is with Charlene. Your business with Nike is with Nike. If you were to talk to anybody about both of them, it would have to be a friend, a mother, a mentor. You have no business talking to Nike about Charlene. I can't say this enough. You have no business talking to Charlene about Nike. Not about each other's children, not about nothing. You chose to lay down with those women and create different situations. So those are situations you have to deal with on an individual basis. Some things aren't meant to be mixed together.